Hey everybody, I'm gonna invite somebody on here, my friend Janina. I've been wanting to get on TikTok and just been a little unmotivated, but I've been getting creative, so I figured to invite my friend on here to ask her some questions and kind of just get some chats updated. Hi Rudy. Oh my gosh, it's been so long. I just ate too, man. How are you doing, Rudy? Waiting for my friend to come on. How is your family? I'm gonna add her. I invited her, so wanted to try something different because I've been more on Facebook, so I decided to get on here. Me actually. Hey.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm gonna turn my camera on.
Are you on your computer?
No, I had to let me try to get the Wi-Fi on.
Oh, okay. Hi.
Hmm.
Pin your goals so more viewers may notice. Haven't done a live in a long time.
Oh, do I still look kind of grainy?
I can't see you.
Okay, let me see.
Oh, I can see you now.
Okay, does it look clear?
Yeah.
Okay, because on my end it looks a little weird.
Let me see if I can make your picture bigger.
Oh crap.
Hmm. It's small that I can't expand. What's wrong with it? You look
Oh,
fine.
oh yeah. Okay, no, it looks fine. I think it was just looking a little grainy when I first came on and I wasn't hooked up to Wi-Fi. But I think it's okay now. How you doing, girl?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, I think I should be able to share this. Okay.
Yeah, and before we get off, I wanna know how to save it. Or to
Yeah,
do.
so it basic you basically have the opportunity to save it. Uh-oh. After you end the live stream, after you end the live stream, you can go into the TikTok studio and it's back there. So it's gonna automatically save it
Really? Okay.
unless there's a error or something that happens.
Okay. I'm hoping it will save. But I don't usually look at the TikTok studio, like in our personal in our app.
Yeah, so do you have just like a regular profile or do you have like a business profile?
Yeah, I just have a regular. Maybe that's why.
No, I have a regular profile too. And so let me see. I have
Did any
so
of you
you
guys know that? Like,
yeah, you would normally just well you can't really see it, but you would just go to like profile and
but
then you go
it's not on your front dash, right? Like how our other videos are. Is
no,
it?
you have to go into the studio like where you see analytics and then right at the top it say tools and it says live, but I can walk you through it after the live stream. So
Okay, good. Okay. So, yes, because I wanted to do this more for Facebook because I've been on Facebook more.
mhm.
But I figure we can do this on TikTok as well.
I mean, and then we can do one on both one day. I mean, I'm pretty flexible with my time, so I'm pretty open.
Okay. What's that noise?
Oh, it says live. You achieved a live goal. I guess someone sent you
A
some
real.
gifts. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. So I guess I'm definitely going to ask you questions about TikTok, but I wanted to ask you other questions first about
Okay.
you.
Okay.
So you're, everybody, this is my friend Janina. I've known her since she was in high school.
Yeah.
I used to skip the class, I think, that I was in the class with. Do you remember that? No?
Was it like science?
It was health,
Mm.
it was a health class, I
Oh,
think.
that health class. Yeah, I kind of remember that.
I remember
Yeah.
you asked me, like, Angela, where were you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. So what did you go to college like right after high school? Because I didn't.
No, I didn't go to college right after high school. Or no, actually, I take that back. I did go to college. I ended up going to Bethune-Cookman College down in Daytona,
Uh-huh.
and I was there for a year. And that college just wasn't for me. Like, I don't really think that I was like necessarily ready to go off and kind of be on my own just yet. So I went to Bethune-Cookman for a year, and then I came home, and probably a year or so after that, um, probably like 2 or 3 years later, I ended up going to community college at HCC.
And what did you study?
So there, I studied. I got my associates in mass communications, and then I got like some certificates and credits in like multimedia production, video production, and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, has any of that you've learned, because that's like kind of like digital marketing, right?
So it was kind of like twofold. It was a communications degree, so really teaching you how to use the different tools and other things that are out there to really help you create media and how to create messages to distribute to the masses. And so, yeah, that's what that was. But after HCC, I ended up getting a bachelor's in public relations, which is like a journalism degree. So it
Oh,
all kind of goes together.
yeah, it really does. That's cool. I didn't know that. Um, so, uh, has any of that changed? Like all the stuff that you learned is it helpful still now? Because like when did you go to school? Like in '03?
So I graduated from HCC in 2011. And then I graduated from FAMU in 2014. I would say with everything that I learned that it is still very much relevant today. And I'm so grateful and thankful. Even though I didn't exactly know what I wanted to do, it kind of still gave me that creative outlet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm glad that I did it. The skills that I learned are still very much relevant. And I would even say that a lot of what I learned was a little bit ahead of its time and really honestly prepared me for where I am today. And I think that's why certain things, especially in the digital and technology landscape, comes like a lot easier for me.
Yeah, no, for real. So is there anything specific that you learned that is really good now?
Um,
Like just a few things or one thing.
Honestly, that's kind of hard to say. I would say all of it, like from like the community college standpoint, I would say the video production really helped me to kind of understand and conceptualize like how to create videos.
Yeah.
And as I am moving more into content creation, I am leaning more into a lot of those skills that I learned. And then at FAMU, which was my undergraduate, I would say probably like that journalism experience helped me to learn how to structure and tell stories.
Yeah, I love journalism. Like if I could have went again, I would have went that route. So, yeah, it's really cool. Okay. So, tell me about your business ventures.
Oh gosh. Okay, so I've done a little bit of everything. When I first got into business, I was helping people do websites because that's one of the things that I learned how to do at HCC. And this was when it wasn't like a drag and drop, like you actually had to code. So I learned how to code websites. And so I was building websites for people. And then I started seeing that people needed marketing help. I had those skills. So I started helping people with marketing. And then people were like, well, I know you help people with marketing. Can you help me start my business? And then I kind of developed into helping people, start businesses. And so that's how I kind of went from like a creative designer to a business coach, just kind of like over that time period. Um, and so I did that for a very long time. And then, of course, on that continuum of just people needing help, people then started needing help with finding business funding and finding business grants and things like that. And so I just pretty much used my tech and website skills to develop the platform that I currently run now, which is Grant Scanner. And that's a platform that just showcases different grants, funding, and opportunities for people who are looking for ways to fund or grow their business. And so nowadays, that's pretty much more of what I do, which is making sure I am putting new grants and new opportunities on that website. I don't really coach as much as I used to now that I'm kind of going a little bit more into like that content creation side because I mean Grant Scanner pretty much allows me to be behind the scenes to
More passive, right?
yeah, honestly, it really is passive. I think the most that I really do for it is looking for the different opportunities and adding them. But to get new users, I can pretty much, you know, run an ad and put that on autopilot. So it doesn't require a lot of my time in these days.
Okay. I'm going to ask you about content creation in a little bit. Hold on.
Okay.
How do you multiply your time? Because I've been following you for a while and it's like, how do you do that? Like,
Listen, some days I don't even know how I do it. So I have 6 children and I, help out my mom, just kind of taking care of my mom because she has some, mobility things. And I honestly just do what I can when I have the opportunity to do it. I think what has made me a little bit more effective with my time is like deciding on exactly like what it is that I want to do and focus on so that anything that I spend my time on is going towards that bigger picture. So it almost seems as if, well, not seems as if, but it looks like I'm making progress because little, um, I'm taking little pieces of
you're moving the needle a little
yeah,
closer.
yeah. I'm moving the needle like just step by step, and so after a while, like I've made that progress.
Yeah, I've
Yes.
been telling every time I pick a few things in the day, it's like I get happy. I'm like, it's moving the needle. That's all that matters. Because I'm kind of in that weird space right now.
Yeah.
Um, do you think? Okay, this is like a more of a social media. I don't know if I should ask this now. Hold on. I wrote my notes down, but I didn't write them. Okay, we already talked about the grant scanner. Oh, tell me more about the grant scanner. What exactly does the grant scanner do?
So the Grant Scanner is actually an online platform that it is subscription based. So, for example, let's say you have a business, you want to be able to apply and look for different business grants. You can pretty much sign up to the platform, and I keep the platform updated to where, let's just say you might decide you go onto the platform weekly, see what opportunities are there, apply for the ones you want to apply for, save the ones you want to go back and apply to. um, and so it's just kind of that platform that allows you to find the opportunities and then to just kind of organize them, or save them. Grant Scanner is kind of still in its infancy stage, because I am kind of growing it slowly, over time. And so it's really just a place for anyone that's looking for those opportunities, who don't want to, search Google and keep seeing the same old grants. Like, it puts everything for businesses right there on that platform in regards to any opportunities they might be looking for.
So, like, it's basically like grants, or like it's like free money for people that want to start a business.
So there's a couple. So majority of what I do put on there are grants. Some of them are funding that you can get from like pitch competitions, which are still kind of grants. But yeah, so in essence, there are opportunities that you typically won't have to pay the money back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like scholarships to help you start your business.
Yeah, yeah, and so there's different kind. Like, there's some that you can use to start your business. There's some that you can use to invest or buy things that you need for your business. There are some that will, if you apply, they will pay for you to go to different conferences. I've had a couple to where if you apply and you won, you would get like 5 grand in marketing. So really, any opportunity that a business can take advantage of to help them move the needle in their business is the types of opportunities I put on the grant scanner.
Okay. Um, and so it's just like a monthly subscription, and you can cancel at any time.
Yeah, monthly subscription. You can cancel pretty much at any time. There is a yearly option for those people that just might want to, pay it
Are
and get
these
it out
only
of the way.
are these only for like US citizens, or this is for anyone?
So right now it's only U.S. based businesses all around the United States. It's going to take a little bit more development of the platform before I could go into international markets. But for me to kind of do something like that, it's going to require for me to have a developer, because to create something to that level is going to take a little bit more coding, and that's a little bit more than what I know. So right now it is just US based citizens, anybody, any businesses around the United States.
Okay, maybe I can talk to you about that because I need extra freelance work right now. I'm still like going through that unemployment thing right now. Crazy.
Mhm.
Um, anyways, next. So are you doing that business conference still?
It is still a work in it's a work in progress. I'll say it like that. Like, I really want to, but it's not something that I really want to rush. Like, when I do it,
More time.
I want to do it right, which is why I'm focusing a lot on just like building my audience and my digital footprint and things like that, because it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly. Like, cause I wrote this book, and then um, I was doing social media for a while. Like, I think in 2021, like more hardcore, and
Mhm.
that's when you have that following. It's so much better. But then when you have a product to give, that's good too. But it's like there's seasons for, because making a product, especially if it's passive, that takes time too. So
Yeah.
that makes more sense. Yeah, and then a conference is a way more bigger scale. of people. So that makes sense because I did see some people doing conferences here, and it's like only a certain niche or certain group of people are
Hmm.
following that conference because it's like it seems like people fold within circles. I've
Yeah.
noticed in the Latino community, and so like not all the Latin people know, and that's probably all scale for any race is that
Yeah.
better the social media to show everywhere because like
Right.
crazy how things can go viral, and it's like Nara Smith. Everyone talks about Nara Smith right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, because she has grown that presence, so that makes a lot of sense. But you're getting there. I've been seeing your videos. So one of them was so funny.
You know, I honestly, I really have enjoyed being on TikTok. The first time I kind of, so I've, for me, TikTok has been a love hate kind of relationship. When I first got on TikTok, like, it just wasn't giving what I thought it would give. And so I was like, I'm not going to go be on TikTok. And then I just continued to get drawn back to TikTok. And so here I am. And I actually like it because it has honestly given me like the freedom to kind of just explore and push my different like content creation styles and things that I can talk about, which I felt like Facebook didn't allow me to do because like I grew such a large business audience that they only saw me for like, business and my intelligence and not necessarily like just honestly just who I am, like my randomness, my uniqueness, like me loving to talk about different subjects and things like that. And so TikTok has allowed me to do that. And so I've been building a community of people who are just like me that like to learn different things and talk about various things, but also, talk about those other topics that are still educational, but just not all business. And so when I was on TikTok only doing business kind of content, it didn't really translate over as well as it did on Facebook. And so my more personable, kind of laid back content does like much better on TikTok now that I understand it a little bit more.
Yeah, it's about understanding TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, and I also been like that. I feel like it's a different community on TikTok. And it makes it more fun.
Yeah.
um, that was good. I was just going to ask you about TikTok and how you like it. So this is good. So there's two questions. So the first one is like, so do you think that personal branding on certain social networks kind of puts us in a identity box of one person, one persona?
I think that I think that sometimes it could just be us ourselves who limit ourselves and what we put out, either based on like what we know, what we don't know, and what we see. For me, I think that I just only like branded myself as a business person and as a business like coach because that's what I saw people doing that had success online. Like people knew them for this thing, right? And for me, being just kind of a dynamic person, I did that, but I never felt like 100% authentic because I was always business, business, business. And that's how I had branded myself to where I couldn't really be my quirky kind of self, like the same girl that the quirkiness that y'all saw in high school. Like I felt like I couldn't be that, and so I like I share, I felt like I boxed myself in, on Facebook. Um, Instagram is a little bit different, and I feel like a little bit, more forgiving because you can still like build a new audience. I feel like on Instagram because of reels, they'll show it to different people. And so you can build an audience of people who might come through with your reels. Whereas Facebook, I feel like that's almost kind of like a closed community. Like who you have on your timeline is who you have on your timeline, and what you show them is the only thing that they tend to know. Um, and so, yeah, so I hope that kind of answers your question. But I feel like on TikTok, you are just free to be and
Yeah.
just to share whatever it is you might feel like sharing in that moment. And TikTok knows who to show it to kind of help you build a more diverse community. So I feel like Facebook isn't as diverse. Like you have your own branded community on your page, but then you go into other branded communities or groups to try to fit in.
Oh my gosh, it's so true. I've been tempted to just start over on Facebook. I'm like contemplating on it because of that. Because I see a lot of influencers that are on TikTok. They've their their page totally new on Facebook as their kind of persona that they are on TikTok, and it's done well. So it's just hard to like, I guess, be so uncomfortable to leave that network, I guess, for me.
And that's a good point. I struggle with that too. Like because I have built a Facebook, so I don't know, like maybe 14,000 on my personal page, and then the 5,000 friends, so a little under 20,000, and then I've built like two Facebook groups that had like one had like 10,000 followers, the other one had like 5,000 followers, and then I also built this Instagram that has about I don't know, like maybe 11 or 12,000 people on it, and I felt like I did all of this and I built like all of these communities that I feel like I can't even really be who I truly am in, like be my authentic self. And like I bounced around so much, like, okay, well, if this is the kind of content that I want to share, these are the types of things that I want to talk about. This is what I want to be online. Like, okay, how do I do this on Facebook? Like, how do
Yeah.
I do this on Instagram? Like, is this gonna make sense? Like, how do I? And so I was just like, you know what, this is just too much. So I came on TikTok, started building an audience on TikTok, and for everything else that I want to talk about, I'm just gonna start doing YouTube's and just do it that way, because at the end of the day, if I am trying to be authentic to myself and things like that, then it's going to require that I do something different. Like if I still want to talk about business, like that Facebook community is there, but I don't even really like talking about what I'm doing on TikTok on that page, because honestly, I came to TikTok to build a new audience. Like, obviously, I don't want everybody from Facebook following me on
I know.
TikTok. So, yeah.
Yeah, that first year I didn't tell anybody that I was doing TikTok. Like only my friend Norma. I don't know if you know her, but I'll send it. Send her my TikToks on text and just show her. But I slowly, when I saw that the reels were being transferred on Facebook, that's when I started to show them. But yeah, it's been it's I feel the same way that you feel, because like my brand, well, it wasn't really a brand, but it was like more of a Christian persona, which is great because my faith comes first. But
Right.
it's really hard sometimes because you're trying to chase an algorithm, and when you're trying to chase an algorithm, I want to make sure I'm authentic with
Right.
my and with myself. And then I'm not perfect. I'm not Jesus. So like if I go through something, like some of those things are just very personal that I don't want to share either.
Right.
So I got into a place where it's great that I have a Christian persona or Christian content, but I don't think I want to just stick there
Mhm.
because I don't want to get views because I'm not that I don't want to talk about Jesus, but like I don't want to just sit down and plan a Jesus thing quick just so I can get my views, just to get the attention. I want to do it more authentic. I don't know. I was very natural in the beginning, but then I noticed that if I wasn't like feeling it with, especially in a faith wise, if I'm not just being myself,
Mhm.
then it's like I don't want to have a fake, oh, but I gotta post this because it matches my thing. So, but not that, I think it was more on TikTok. I think I was trying to see what I want to do is changing my brand with that. Because I love to do Christian content, but I just felt like sometimes I didn't want to do it because I was going through something personal. Because we all go through things personal. So
Mhm.
it's hard to balance, I guess.
Yeah, and one of the things that I'm learning on TikTok is that people want to see just kind of like that real, authentic, just your thoughts, how you're feeling, what you're thinking, and like what you're going through, what your life is like. Because I think that this generation that's coming up under us, and even, some of us, like, we want like what's real. We want what's authentic. Like we see the fakeness. We see the people trying to live the lifestyle and things like that. And I think it doesn't really align with people who are trying to, just live like more authentically. And for a while, I struggled because I was just like, okay, God, like, do you want me to do this? Like, do you not want me to do this? And just praying and just telling him, like, at the end of the day, I don't know what to do, but whatever I do, I genuinely just want you to be proud of me. And I want it to be something that you would be okay with.
Yeah. And that's important.
And, and not necessarily like worried about views or like worried about the algorithm, because what I've seen is that those things will come, and that's something I've learned from building communities over the years and now building the TikTok, community. Um for me, it's making sure like I'm coming from a place that allows me to be me, but also is um in alignment with my faith. And I think, I read my Bible a lot, and I feel like I got, you know, um a little bit of clarity on that, because I'm like, okay, God, but you made me, who I am, like these weird things, you know, these weird things that I like to talk about. And there's just certain things that we know that we shouldn't do. Like we shouldn't tear people down. We shouldn't, lie, steal, hurt people and things like that. And I feel like as long as my content isn't like doing those things, then he gave me the freedom and the creativity to just kind of explore and be me. And he created me, right? And so if that is the case, then I know that he has given me the Holy Spirit to prompt me to say, okay, well, you posted it, go take it down. Or next time, consider doing it this way, or think about it um, in this way. And so I struggled for a very long time with my faith, not my faith, but how do I show up authentically, but, still allow for that room for God to work through me to draw others to him. Because honestly, at the end of the day, like that's why we're here, and that's what this whole thing is about.
Yeah, that's good. Um, what are the differences in each platform, do you think? Like, Do you think Instagram is a certain way and Facebook is a certain way and TikTok is a certain way?
Yeah. I feel like how you build on Facebook is how people kind of view you and expect for you to be. Um, I think that Instagram is a little bit less like restrictive because of they have reels, like I said, that can reach other people, and I feel like TikTok just allows you to just kind of show up however you may be in the moment, whereas on Facebook, like I felt like I had to be a certain way, I had to look a certain way, I had to be in a certain position
Yeah.
for me to show up because I feel like it's honestly like LinkedIn's little cousin.
Yes. Yep. Some of my videos, like, I have some family members are like, well, you needed to edit that because my mom, and I don't know if you hear her, she's talking in Spanish loud, but like, I'm like, I don't have time to edit it like that. I guess I have more of that style for TikTok and I'm trying to do it on Facebook sometimes. And, but I'm like, yeah, or your hair was messed up. You need to fix your curls. Someone said that on my birthday. Like personal friends are like, hey, I think you need to use this for your hair. And but I'm trying not to care. I try really not to care.
And I think a lot of the times, like, people may not understand it, but at the same time, they
At
may
least
be
we're showing up.
come,
Sorry for
huh?
excusing. Sorry for interrupting you, but I'm like, at least we're showing up.
Right. And I think that sometimes people unintentionally, like, they don't do it to hurt us, and they're unintentionally like operating from a place of how they would feel about themselves if they were to show up,
Yeah.
right? And so, um, what do they call it? Sometimes it's almost like I forget what like almost kind of like mirroring. Like if they were to show up how you showed up, like they would probably be more concerned with their hair for the fact that it had background noises and things like that. And so for the fact that you try not to care, that's a good thing. But I think that the
It
great
slows
thing
me
about
down though. It
it
slows
does,
it has
and I
slowed.
think
A lot of people have been very negative over the past year, so it's really slowed me down. But I try not to. I try to keep pushing. But yeah, sorry.
and that's why I felt the same way, and that's why I just go. Why I've just been on TikTok. I go on Facebook where people who they don't have any preconceived notions about me and who I am, or they're not operating from a place of what they used to know about me or what they know about my past or what they like. These people on TikTok and Facebook, they're coming across the content because that's the kind of content that they want to see. And
Yeah.
so instead of putting myself in a place where I am showcased out, where I feel like I'm literally getting up on the stage and performing in front of people that know me, like they're showing up to my piano concert or something like that. I go where no one knows me, and if they come across me and if they're engaging, it's genuinely because that's what they want to see. And
Yeah.
so, like I said, TikTok has allowed for me to do that. YouTube allows for me um, to do that. And so I'm becoming more okay with just kind of like they say, like, go where you're appreciated. And so that's what I've been doing.
Um, do you think YouTube is better than TikTok?
I think they both kind of serve their own different purposes. Um, I honestly, I like both platforms, but I think that YouTube gives me the opportunity to explore with the type of content that I want to create and still build um, and still build an audience. I mean, well, I guess you could do that on TikTok too, but like as far as like I guess you could say like monetization and stuff like that. So because I still like to talk about business content, I just figured I will just start creating my YouTubes and my business content and putting it on YouTube because in all actuality, when people are looking for information and advice about their business, they're going to YouTube. They're not searching that on Facebook.
Right.
They might search for it on Twitter. I mean, on TikTok, maybe, but they're going to YouTube. And so I have, after all of these years, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to put the content where the people are more likely to look for it at. So, like my more funny, laid back, engaging content, entertaining content, interesting content, people are looking for that on TikTok. That's why they're there.
Right.
My business advice and tips and stuff like that, I'll put that on YouTube because that's where people are looking for that. Like for so long, like I was holding on to dear life for Facebook, wanting Facebook to work for me, wanting my content to do what it, is supposed to do there. And I'm just like, you know what? Sometimes you have to like let it go and do a new thing and try a new thing.
Yeah, like clean slate.
Yeah,
Okay,
but there's for sure a difference.
so you're focusing only on TikTok now or YouTube or like those are your more
So my right now I'm prioritizing TikTok because in addition to helping me build an audience, being on TikTok and actually having to talk and speak has helped me to just to speak better, become a better presenter, become a better story, like storyteller. And it's pushing me outside of my comfort zone in a way that's growing me.
okay.
And so the way that I'm growing on TikTok and the skills that I'm learning and the skills that I'm refining ultimately is going to just translate very well into the content that I create on YouTube, which is just more long form. I feel like if you can get really good at creating short form content, then creating that long form content gets a little better and a little bit easier. And so I can see the difference from when I first started creating short form content on TikTok to where I am now. Like it literally would take me 1,000 takes just to do a 10-second video, where now I can whip out my phone and I'm ready and I might be able to do it in, maybe 2 or 3 takes. And so I can see the growth there. And so I'm not only using it as just like a place to build an audience, like I'm also using TikTok as a place to help me to grow just in what it is that I am currently doing.
That's good. Sorry, my son's here. Angel, I'm doing a live right now. Okay. So how do you juggle being a mom and working and being on social media?
Um, how do I juggle it? Actually, I don't juggle it. I just put it in a pile, pick it all up, and just walk around with it because, like, it's I don't even know like how to explain it, but other than how I said it earlier, like I just give myself grace and do what I can. But now I'm trying to, because I have more clearer goals for myself and what I'm trying to accomplish, it makes it a lot easier to make sure that I'm using the little bit of time that I do have,
Oh, someone's
making
calling
sure I
you.
have a little bit of time that I do have, that I use it as wisely as possible. Yeah, someone's calling me.
Um, so were you a single mom? You told me this before. I just wanted to put it on the video. Like, so you were a single mom at one point when you with your first
Yeah,
kid.
so I was a single mom with my first 2 children, and then I moved to Tallahassee, and that's where I met my husband, and then he and I had 4 kids.
How did you
hmm
juggle it as a single mom?
I was blessed with like a great support system. Like I can't even take all the credit on my own. Like I had my mom, I had my dad and his wife, I had, well, people call it stepdad, but I call him pops. I had my pops, I had sisters, I had brothers. Like I had a really good support system that is still um supporting me to this day, even as I am going through just a really difficult time right now in my life. And so that's honestly how I was able to juggle it and do what I do, is like God just giving me a great support system. And so I can't even take credit like for that.
Yeah, I sometimes forget to share that my mom, she's always helped me with my son. I mean, I know a lot of women that don't have that, or they sometimes they choose not to have it too, to be honest with you, because it's not easy with my mom.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my mama is watching this because I think I saw her in the same.
Hey,
Same.
mom.
And it's a humbling experience. And I think it's an experience and a mindset that you have to have, like for community and being able to hear the hard things, even if you don't want to hear it, and to really just humble yourself to receive that help and to build those relationships that can help you. And you're right. I think that some people don't like put themselves in that position to receive that help because they don't want to be told anything. And let me tell you something. If you ever meet my parents, they're going to tell you whether you want to hear it or not. They don't care. Like, you're going to get it today.
That's the same thing. And then we do have our moments that we do talk and communicate, and then she might say it a little bit better for me to
Right.
hear it. Because I'll be like, but at least say it like this. But it is humbling because you learn, because like your parents know you more than yourself. So it helps you be a better person, when it is time to find that special one. Oh man. Um, we're almost done. Okay, so is that the only thing you have right now is your, let me make sure yeah, this is the last one. So is that the only thing you have right now is as out of your services that it's the grant scanner?
Yeah, it's Grant Scanner is what I do. There is a component on Grant Scanner where if you're a member, um you can book those calls now, like you can book a one-on-one call. Now I imagine that once I start putting out more business content on TikTok, I think the most that I will offer is just like one-on-one calls. I don't think I'm gonna do any like long-term coaching or anything like that. And if I do, probably not anything past maybe 3 months.
Yeah.
um but as of right now, it's just the grant scanner, me doing my content, and I think that I might just do what I just shared once I kind of start sharing more business content on YouTube.
Yeah. So one more question about TikTok. So like, what are your do you see yourself maybe just being a content creator? Like, have you explored that?
I think that I can see myself moving into content creation full time while still having grant scanner. Like my plan is to pretty much just be able to outsource the uploading of the grants and stuff like that. Put that in the funnel, let that run, and just create more content that is geared towards me, my life, like my day to day, my randomness, my fun facts, and all of that stuff. Because it's super easy for me to do, and it's something that I enjoy doing. Like I've created so much content to where I'm all out of space on my phone, and now I got to try to take all of that stuff off
Yeah.
to create more content, so that I can have more space to create content. And I think I don't want to say I have an interesting story to tell, but I think that I have a life that a lot of people um, can relate to, and I
Yeah.
feel like because of who I am and because of what I believe in, that in that capacity, I can still do what it is that I'm supposed to do, which is to honestly just glorify God, like in what it is that I'm doing. And so that is one of the ways that I can do that, just by showing my life and what I go through every day and the things that I experience, because there's a lot of people, like I've done so much and I've gone through so much in these 38 years, that me sharing this, yes, is going to help someone else. But as I'm talking about different things and I'm sharing different things and I'm telling my story, ultimately it'll leave something for my children to look at, my children's children to look at. And so I'm not just building content just for likes and views now. Like, I want to build content that my kids will watch if I were to leave this earth in the next few years, that their kids will watch, like, oh, like, and like this was your grandma. So almost kind of like watching reruns, right? And so yeah.
That's good. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah, I saw this guy, he told me he started his YouTube channel really for his kids. Like things that he wanted to tell his kids, and then it just blew up after that. So that's what I've been thinking about doing, is not rebranding myself, but just I have to figure out if I want to make a new TikTok as well. So, but I'm gonna just try it. I heard that you can just try some new content on your TikTok to see if people like it, and if people like it, that's great. And I think I have a little bit, but they said you can always start a new TikTok. So
Honestly, so okay, so I have one YouTube that I'm going to be using for like all my content. I don't care what kind of content it is. And the same for TikTok, because one of the things that I can actually say, and I don't think a lot of people recognize, but maybe you do being in tech, kind of like I am, is that the algorithm is intelligent, it's smart, it knows who to show what to based on keywords in the concept and content within the video. And that is the exact same way with YouTube, where it wasn't that way a few years back. It used to be where if you built like a YouTube talking about cars and one day you're talking about books, you would probably lose followers because those people were there for cars. And so YouTube showed them your content because they were your followers, right? But now I think with the advancement of AI, the algorithm, like super processors and all of that thing, they can analyze millions of pieces of data in a matter of a couple seconds and know where to send it to, who to show it to. And so I think that that's the great thing about having one profile. It allows for you to um experiment. And
yeah,
so I'm trying to simplify my life, and I complicated my life for a very long time, like having this platform, having that platform, trying to create for this one, trying to create for that one. And then I'm
me
just like, you
too.
know what? I created the Janina in real life platform. That's where I'm being me. That's where I am doing me. And these algorithms going to show the content to whoever they show it to, and that's going to be that. But I was telling my son, who wants to be a content creator as well, I had to break down the algorithm to him because he wants to do like reaction videos, he wants to try new things, and he thought he needed to start a bunch of channels. And I don't think we have to do that, and I don't think you would need to start over. I think that you just, as you continue to find your voice and show more of the content that is more in alignment with the style that you're building or the lifestyle that you're building, that they'll know the right people to show it to start bringing people in.
That's helpful. Yeah, because I just don't want to be like, well, why doesn't she get on all Christian content all the time anymore? Why is she doing beauty things or cooking and stuff or beauty? And I just don't want to like throw people off. But I mean, yeah, I'm gonna just experiment because yeah, just starting fresh right now is not really necessary because it does get overwhelming. So
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that if you look at your analytics, you'll find that most of the people are going to come to your page through two ways, either through the For You page or through search. So that tells you that mostly everybody that come in contact with your videos anyway is going to be new. So they're not going to have a mark from which to measure you. They're measuring you based on that video. And what mostly happens is if somebody sees a video that they like of you, they'll like it, but then they'll go and look at your profile to see, oh, what kind of other kind of content does she post? Oh, okay, I like her as a person, and not, oh, I only like because she talks about Christian content. Oh, she talks about beauty content. Oh, wow, she's a Christian. Wow, she likes to cook too. You know, we seem to have the same heritage and culture. I'm gonna follow her. And so I feel like on TikTok they follow you more because of who you are holistically versus other platforms where they follow you because of a niche or because of a category that you fall into.
That's true. That's helpful. Yeah, no, you're right. Because when I follow someone on TikTok, it's because I really like them as a person. Like this girl, she's actually 39 and she has cancer, and she does all her videos about her journey. And she's just so funny and fun, and she's a mom and laid back, and I like her as a whole, not just because right now I'm not in that situation. So
Right.
that's because I love her as a person. She has a lot of
Yes.
interesting things. So, well, my time is up. I have to go work. So much. Oh, but I might text you later about
Okay.
figuring this out.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. I think when you end it, it should say you might just end it, and I don't know if it says something after you end it, but I know it for sure saves it. So just pay attention to the prompts and make sure it doesn't say anything about deleting or nothing like that. But you should be able to go back and access it, and even if not, like we can always have another conversation, you know, as well. And I mean, and it could be helpful
Yeah,
is
because
to do a live stream, maybe something that we do every other week together as a way to just continue to talk about this journey, because the content creation journey is very different and we need support and community. So however I can help you or we
yeah,
help each other, just let me
yeah.
know.
Okay. Well, thank you for being on here.
All
Um,
right.
have a good day. Bye.
Okay, you too. Message me later.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye bye.